G'day everyone, it's Woody coming to you from the beautiful Gold Coast. I've just waved off 15,000 runners in the Gold Coast Marathon. I've juggled my running schedule a little bit this week so I can get down here and support some of the runners that I coach, some of the runners that I run with on a regular basis. A little bit overcast for marathon day today. It's been a big weekend of running here on the Gold Coast. Yesterday we had the half marathon, incorporated the Australian Half Marathon Championships. There was also the supporting events, shorter distances, 10, 5, 2, big day. 38,000 entrants across all events on the Gold Coast Marathon weekend. I came down with my mate Sean yesterday to pick up his marathon bib. We stopped off at the Surfers Paradise Parkrun. Almost 400 runners on narrow paths, very congested. 2-lap course, a lot of marathoners using that parkrun for their shakeout. We headed down to Burleigh Heads after we had breakfast, grabbed the coffee, sat at the beach for a little while before we headed to the expo at the Gold Coast Convention Centre, picked up the race bibs, had a wander through the expo and then headed back home. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the half marathon yesterday, but there was some fantastic results there. The half marathon was won by the Australian marathon record holder Andy Buchanan, running 68:08.
What the f***? I'm an idiot. I got those numbers completely ballsed up at the Gold Coast yesterday. It wasn't 68:08. Andy Buchanan ran 61:08. That's 1 hour, 1 minute and 8 seconds. What was I thinking?
That was an Australian all-comers record. That means it was the fastest half marathon ever run on Australian soil. He broke Brisbane running legend Pat Carroll's long-standing Australian all-comers record, which had stood since 1994. First 3 place getters in the Gold Coast half marathon yesterday were all on or under that old record. It was only 3 seconds between first and third. The women's winner was the defending champion and the defending Australian half marathon champion, Leanne Pompiani. She ran 69:14. She won by quite a space. It was over a minute to the second and third runners. So big day here on the Gold Coast yesterday. It's going to be a big day again today. Hopefully the rain holds off. There is a forecast of some rain. Like I said, I've juggled my running schedule this week so I can get down here to the Gold Coast. I'm going to talk about that in a little while I wait for the lead runners to come back in about 90 minutes. I'll come back past the start-finish area here at the 31 kilometre mark. So I'll get some more footage of that. I'm going to go and get a coffee, and then I'm going to talk about what my running week has been like. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, at Parkrun yesterday, big shout out to Andy and Kel who came up and introduced themselves to me, had a good chat. Hope they have a great run today out there at the Gold Coast Marathon. Okay, I have my coffee and I've just called up my training log for the week. I haven't got my glasses with me, so I'm just going to have to try and remember the best I can how this week has gone. Like I said, I juggled things around a little bit this week so that I could be here on the Gold Coast today on Sunday, which meant I did my long run during the week. The week started running wise on Tuesday with the normal speed group. I did something a little bit different to the session that they did. I did a 3 kilometre effort, followed up by a 1 kilometre a little bit harder, 2 kilometre warm up and cool down, so a little bit over 8k on Tuesday. Wednesday was a super easy run, followed up by 7 by 20 second strides uphill. Thursday was my long run this week, 31k. Pace is getting quicker on those run walk segments, so that was really good. Felt really strong at the back end of that 31 kilometres. Did it a little bit later because I had worked the night before. Got out about 10 o'clock in the morning, so it was a little bit warmish, but overall it wasn't too bad. And like I said, I felt really good through that run. Saturday I spoke about just a minute ago, being Parkrun at Surfers Paradise. I'm here at the Gold Coast now, watching the marathon. A little bit later on today I'll probably wander out, maybe try and run an hour, something like that, but we'll see how I feel after being on my feet here all morning. So far I'm sitting at about 56 kilometres for the week. If I can tick off another 10 or 12 kilometres later on today, I'll be really happy with that. 68-ish kilometres for the week would be pretty good. A little bit down on previous weeks, but I'm okay with that. A little bit of a down week. Heading into the Cairns half marathon next week that I will be pacing, that 2-hour 10 group, so looking forward to that. But now I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to wander back up onto course around race precinct and wait for these lead runners to come through. They've been out there for about an hour now, so they won't be too far away, probably another half hour or so, and they'll be running past here for the last 10 kilometres of the Gold Coast Marathon. Let's go. Alright, I have left race precinct. The weekend warriors are still out there battling the heat. It got very warm for those runners this morning. So much for the forecast rain. Making my way back to the car. There's some really exciting racing at the pointy end of both the men's and the women's fields today. Japanese runners totally dominated the men's Gold Coast Marathon. New course record. I'll put the top 3 place getters here on screen because I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce their names. New course record 2:07:33 for the winner, beating the old mark by 7 seconds, I think it was. And the women also here on screen, guys. The top 3, African domination there. A little bit slower than what has been some of the winning times in recent years for the women, but just dipping under 2:30. But the winner didn't make her winning break until inside the last kilometre. So some really exciting races. It's Gold Coast Marathon done for another year. I've got to go home, have a bit of a rest, hydrate, because I've got to go out for a run this afternoon. Guys, let's wrap this video up. Back in the car now, 11.6k, 62 minutes and change. Another good week, 68k, a little bit down on mileage this week, but I did have a rolling week of about 85k because I put in 2 long runs within 5 days. Happy to go a little bit lower mileage for this week. That's it for this video, guys. Yes, what do we got? 8 weeks to go. Let's go. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.